Have you ever caught yourself wondering, I've been doing the same things for years, why would I need to change now? It's a fair question. After all, when you've made it to 60 or beyond, you've likely settled into a routine that feels comfortable, familiar, even safe. But here's the thing. Sometimes the habits that seem harmless, even healthy, can slowly chip away at our well-being. And when it comes to cancer, the truth is that a few simple habits, ones we don't even think twice about, could be quietly increasing the risk. Now, I know cancer is a word that carries a heavy weight. It can feel distant until suddenly it isn't. Maybe a friend was recently diagnosed. Maybe someone in your family is going through treatment. Or maybe you've been sitting with a quiet concern about that ache, that mole, that nagging feeling in your gut. Wherever you're at, I want you to know, you are not alone. And more importantly, you are not powerless. This video is about giving you back some control. We're going to talk about 5 common habits that doctors have warned can raise your cancer risk, and how you can gently, realistically, start making changes that protect your health without turning your life upside down. These aren't extreme overhauls or fear-mongering tricks. Just clear, simple truths backed by science, and delivered with care. So, let's settle in. Pour yourself a cup of tea or coffee, get comfy, and let's chat. Because your health matters, your life matters, and you deserve to enjoy this chapter feeling empowered and informed. Let's start with one of the most overlooked habits out there, something so ordinary that many people don't even question it. I'm talking about sitting. Yes, just sitting. We've all heard that sitting too much isn't great, but did you know that prolonged sitting has actually been linked to an increased risk of several types of cancer? Colon, endometrial, and even lung cancer have all shown connections to a sedentary lifestyle. And here's the kicker, even if you exercise regularly, long periods of sitting can still be harmful. Now, I get it. After a certain age, rest feels good. Maybe the knees aren't what they used to be, maybe the couch feels a little too inviting, or maybe you're spending more time enjoying quiet moments, reading, watching your favorite shows, knitting, doing puzzles. These things bring joy and peace, and they should stay a part of your life. But the trick is balance. Doctors recommend that we get up and move every 30 to 60 minutes, even if it's just a light walk around the house, a few stretches, or standing up to do a few shoulder rolls. It doesn't have to be intense. The key is simply breaking the long sitting streaks. Maybe every time a commercial comes on, you get up and march in place for a minute. Or when the phone rings, you take the call standing. These tiny changes may seem insignificant, but over time, they add up. They get the blood flowing, wake up your muscles, and help your body regulate insulin and inflammation, 2 things closely tied to cancer development. And here's a little secret, your body will start to thank you for it. You'll notice less stiffness, maybe a little more energy, and even a brighter mood. It's amazing what a few steps can do. Now, let's talk about something a little more personal, something that touches almost everyone, especially as we get older. Food. There's no denying it. Food is comfort. Food is celebration, memory, tradition. And that's a beautiful thing. But unfortunately, not all foods love us back. One particular habit that doctors are growing increasingly concerned about is the regular consumption of processed meats. Think hot dogs, bacon, sausages, deli slices, those convenient, salty staples that have found their way into so many of our meals over the years. They're quick, tasty, and often feel like a treat. But here's what many people don't realize. Processed meats contain preservatives like nitrates and nitrites that can convert into harmful compounds in the body. According to the World Health Organization, these compounds have been classified as carcinogens, meaning they're known to increase the risk of certain cancers, especially colorectal cancer. Now, that doesn't mean you have to say goodbye to every BLT or Sunday morning bacon breakfast. Life is meant to be enjoyed. But what we can do is shift our choices gradually. Maybe try swapping out deli meats with grilled chicken or tuna. Add more plant-based proteins like beans or lentils into your meals. Roast a turkey breast at home and slice it yourself. It's fresher, and you'll know exactly what's going into your body. And let me tell you, your taste buds adjust. You might find yourself enjoying simpler, more natural flavors more than you thought you would. Plus, you'll be giving your body cleaner fuel, which means better digestion, better energy, and a better shot at keeping that cancer risk down. Alright, let's pause for a moment here. We've covered sitting and we've touched on processed meats, 2 sneaky habits that can work against us if we're not careful. But as we keep going, I want you to remember this isn't about guilt. It's not about blaming yourself for what you did or didn't know before. It's about awareness. It's about those small, thoughtful changes that can truly make a difference. Because here's the honest truth. Your body is still listening, still healing, still responding. It hasn't given up on you. And you shouldn't give up on it either. Let's keep going. Because next, we're going to look at something that's hiding in plain sight. Something you might use every single day without thinking twice. And the research around it. It's eye-opening. Your personal care products. Now, I know, that might sound a little surprising at first. What do things like deodorant or shampoo have to do with cancer? But stick with me here, because this one is important, and something that often flies under the radar. Many of the products we've used for decades, soaps, lotions, perfumes, hair dyes, even some sunscreens, contain chemicals that have raised red flags for researchers. Ingredients like parabens, phthalates, and certain synthetic fragrances have been under scrutiny for years because of how they interact with our hormones. And when hormones get disrupted, the body's natural systems can go off balance. That imbalance, it's been linked in some studies to an increased risk of cancers, especially breast and reproductive system cancers. The tricky part is that these chemicals don't always show up with big warning labels. They're hidden under vague words like fragrance or buried in long, scientific names most of us don't recognize. And for years, we've trusted that if it's on the store shelf, it must be safe. But more and more doctors and scientists are urging us to take a second look. It's not about tossing out every product in your bathroom overnight, but it is about getting curious, reading the label, looking for simpler, more natural options when you can. Things like unscented soaps, aluminum-free deodorants, and moisturizers with just a few ingredients you can actually pronounce. It's also a great time to explore smaller, more transparent brands. Many of them are popping up with a focus on safer ingredients and fewer additives. And honestly, a lot of them feel better on the skin anyway. Making this kind of switch doesn't just reduce cancer risk, it also supports your skin health, your immune system, and sometimes even the environment. It's a win all around. You don't have to do it all at once. Just pick one product you use daily, check the label, and see if there's a cleaner version out there. That one change could make more of a difference than you think. Now, let's talk about something a little more invisible, but just as powerful. It's something we carry with us every single day, and it can influence the entire body, right down to our cells. I'm talking about chronic stress. Stress isn't just a feeling, it's a physical reaction. When we're constantly worried, overwhelmed, or carrying unspoken grief or tension, our body goes into a kind of survival mode. It floods with hormones like cortisol and adrenaline, which were designed for short-term responses, like escaping danger, not living in it. But if we stay in that state for too long, it begins to take a toll. Chronic stress can weaken the immune system, raise inflammation levels, and disrupt how our cells grow and repair. And this, over time, can open the door to all sorts of health issues, including cancer. Now, let me pause here, because I know some of you have been through a lot. Maybe you're caregiving for a spouse, or dealing with a financial burden, or just feeling the weight of changes that come with getting older. Life doesn't slow down just because we do. And it's not always easy to just relax or think positive like people sometimes say. But what is possible, what's within reach, is learning to take small steps toward peace. Even just 5 or 10 minutes a day. Maybe you start the morning with a few deep breaths by the window. Maybe you turn off the news in the evening and listen to music that lifts your spirit. Or you journal, pray, or take a quiet walk and let the sun touch your face. These small moments may not fix everything, but they help your body remember safety. They help your nervous system calm down. And they help create an internal environment that's less hospitable to disease, including cancer. Stress will always be a part of life. But how we hold it, how we care for ourselves through it, that part we can influence. Now, this next habit might be a little more sensitive to bring up, but it's too important to skip. It's about alcohol. You might be thinking, come on, a glass of wine now and then isn't hurting anyone. And for many years, that's what people thought, even doctors. In fact, it was common advice, red wine's good for the heart, have a drink to unwind. But the truth is, the science has shifted. and it's become clearer than ever that even moderate alcohol consumption can increase the risk of several cancers, including breast, liver, esophageal, mouth, and colorectal cancer. Here's why. When the body processes alcohol, it turns into a chemical called acetaldehyde. This substance can damage DNA and interfere with the body's natural repair systems. Over time, that damage can build up and set the stage for cancer to grow. Now, I'm not saying you can never enjoy a glass of wine or a cocktail again. Life is meant to have pleasure and celebration. But I am inviting you to look at how often you're drinking and why. Is it out of habit? Boredom? Loneliness? Because it's just what you've always done? What if you replaced that nightly glass of wine with a warm herbal tea that calms your body and helps you sleep? Or sparkling water with lemon for a refreshing twist? You might be surprised how quickly your body responds. Better sleep, clearer thinking, and, of course, a lower cancer risk. It's not about restriction, it's about freedom. The freedom to choose what truly supports your health and your joy. So, let's take a deep breath together right now. You've made it this far in our conversation, and that tells me something important. It tells me that you care, that you're paying attention, that you're willing to make changes, not because someone told you to, but because deep down, you want to live well. You deserve to live well. These habits we've talked about, sitting too much, processed meats, hidden chemicals in personal care products, chronic stress, alcohol, they aren't meant to scare you. They're meant to empower you, to help you see that cancer risk isn't just about luck or genes or age. It's about choices. And you still have choices. You still have time. And if you're sitting there thinking, well, it's too late for me now, let me gently stop you right there. It's never too late to make changes. Your body is astonishing. It is constantly repairing, adapting, and trying its best to work with you. Every small, kind decision you make gives it the support it needs to do its job better. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to start. Let's talk about one last habit, and this one might surprise you the most because it feels so innocent, so ordinary. In fact, for many folks, it's part of their daily reward system. A little indulgence after a meal. Something sweet with your afternoon tea. Yes, we're talking about sugar. Now, to be clear, sugar itself doesn't cause cancer directly. But here's what doctors and researchers are warning us about. It's the environment that too much sugar can create inside the body. When we consistently eat high-sugar diets, especially processed sugars like those in pastries, soft drinks, and candy, it can lead to higher blood sugar levels, chronic inflammation, and weight gain, especially around the belly. And that excess belly fat. It's not just extra weight. It's active tissue that produces inflammatory chemicals and hormones that disrupt the body's natural balance. Over time, that inflammation and hormonal imbalance may increase the risk of several cancers, including breast, colon, and pancreatic cancer. What's even trickier is that sugar hides in places we don't expect. Even foods marketed as healthy can be loaded with it. Flavored yogurts, cereals, granola bars, salad dressings, you name it. We might think we're doing something good for our bodies, but we're actually fueling the very processes we're trying to avoid. Now, I'm not here to say you can never enjoy a slice of cake at your granddaughter's birthday or treat yourself to dessert on a special night. That's part of living, part of joy. What we can do is become more mindful. We can read labels, choose whole fruits when we want something sweet, and find ways to satisfy that craving without spiking our sugar levels. You might be surprised how quickly your taste buds adjust when you reduce added sugars. Suddenly, a crisp apple tastes like candy. A handful of berries feels like a treat. And best of all, your body thanks you, with more stable energy, fewer crashes, better sleep, and yes, a lower cancer risk. You don't need to go sugar-free, you just need to go sugar-smart. And that's the heart of everything we've talked about today. Not perfection, not fear, but awareness, empowerment, making choices that support your life instead of quietly working against it. When you're over 60, it's easy to feel like you've missed your chance to make a difference in your health. That if you didn't start earlier, what's the point now? But I want you to hear me loud and clear on this. Every choice matters. And every moment is a new chance to care for yourself. It's never too late to stand up and stretch. To swap out processed meats for a healthier meal. To choose a lotion with clean ingredients. To find a few minutes of peace in your day. to pour tea instead of wine, to enjoy fruit instead of cookies. Even just one of those choices can begin to change the trajectory of your health. And not just in terms of cancer risk, but in how you feel every single day. More energy, less fog, a stronger immune system, better sleep, a lighter spirit. And when you feel better, you do more. You smile more. You show up more for the people you love. That's the real goal here, not just adding more years to your life, but more life to your years. So, take a deep breath. Let that sink in. You're not too old. You're not too late. You're just getting started. If you found this video helpful, or if any part of it made you stop and think, I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Share your thoughts, your experiences, or even just say hello. You'd be surprised how many others are walking the same path, and how much your story might help someone else. And if you want more videos like this, simple, practical advice to help you feel strong, stay sharp, and live fully at any age, go ahead and click that like button and hit subscribe. We've got more great conversations coming your way, and I'd love to have you be part of this growing community. Because here's the truth. Life after 60 can be vibrant, joyful, and deeply meaningful. You just have to take it one step, one choice, one habit at a time. Here's to your health. Here's to your strength. And here's to living your best life, no matter your age. Take care of yourself. You deserve it.